All right. I think I'm just going to read the next sentence and tell me where you think this is going. I think you'll be able to get it.
Okay.
But even though the piece will stay on the moon, collectors on Earth can still get in on the action.
No. It's an NFT project.
When we land the physical work of art on the moon, a little beep sounds in the control room.
Damn it.
That's when 88 non-fungible tokens will be released,
damn it.
all facilitated by the blockchain company. And then it's got some blockchain company that doesn't even deserve to be mentioned.
Oh my God, dude. Have we not learned our lesson at this point? I hadn't even pushed record on the recorder yet. Just talking to the camera.
Talking about how we're getting better about this, and Jake hadn't hit record yet.
Yeah. Well, welcome back to Friends with Benedicts.
Man,
Breakfast
we did it.
around the world. We did it.
The chances of us getting to this part of the day today were slim to none, and here we are.
Dude, this is serious deja vu right now.
It literally is a complete rewind back to episode 1.
Yeah. Back to where it all began.
Back to where it all began.
And conveniently, it all began with Shaffer's wonderful special van breaking down in Denver. And here we are again. Shaffer's van. I came and visited you in Gunnison on New Year's Eve, and anytime we would drive somewhere, it was the scariest experience of my life, because we'd be driving and you would randomly be like, oh, brakes are gone.
My brakes have been an absolute nightmare. And the problem is, again, that my van is... I'm not going to make this too long of a thing because I always am talking about my car and how broken it is. But my brakes have been going out forever. I've been on the Japanese version of eBay, tracking down part numbers, going to all these different websites, trying to find all the right pieces to get it all done.
There's a Japanese eBay?
It's eBay.
Oh,
Just for
sold
Japanese.
from Japan.
Yeah,
Got
right.
it. Okay, sorry. Continue.
No, you're good. And then I got all this stuff for my brakes, and I had this appointment in Gunnison to get it fixed, which I missed, which is a whole nother story. But I made another appointment kind of in Denver. Long story short, my brakes are going out. I thought it was going to be a quick fix. I brought all the parts, and then I, of course, get the phone call 3 minutes before we hit the record button, and they're like, yeah, you don't have nearly all the stuff you need. It's way more broken than you thought it was. Everything's falling apart. You have no hope. There's no point in even having this car anymore. You shouldn't have bought it. You're dumb. Did you even go to school? Who are you? Who do you think you are? Special snowflake?
Did they make you do deliveries for them this time?
No deliveries this time. I don't work there, and I guess I got fired, which I didn't know. So that's news to me.
They saw that you couldn't get the right parts for your van, so they're not trusting you anymore as delivery driver.
Everything's falling apart in my little world here. And I have to go back to Gunnison tomorrow because that big project we talked about last week, I have to go film that, the one that I got the check for.
Yeah.
But I don't have a car. So now I'm just like hoboing back on the bus, and then I have to do this whole shoot with so many things to carry and move, and I don't have a car to do it with. So I got some logistical things to figure out.
Dude, you have a lot going on right now. Like, and so many things we like aren't even going to talk about on this podcast.
Oh yeah, my life.
You've got a lot going on.
Dude, my
life.
Every corner of my life is melting down. The like personal side of my life, and all my friends, and then my job, and also my car.
Yeah,
but I'm doing good. How are you?
It shows. I'm doing good. This is gonna be a wild one for both of us because now I'm trying to mix our audio while we talk, as if I don't already have a problem like not being able to focus on the conversation. I'm just gonna be staring at this audio mixer,
just making sure it doesn't clip.
But I think it's good now. I think I've got it. I think I've got it mostly figured out.
Here's a fun little value add for the listeners.
Ooh.
You can volume that's low, if it's recorded well, you can push it pretty high.
Oh, okay.
So I will keep it on the low.
I'll err on the low side.
Yeah, I would err on the low side.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'm just gonna quit paying attention to it now because otherwise I lose train of thought fast enough. I don't need to be looking at an audio recorder.
With the mindset I'm in right now, this could easily turn into a throwaway episode.
And we have thrown away a lot of episodes.
Yeah, we have.
Well, maybe not a lot, but there's a few lost episodes.
Relative to as many as we have,
Yeah.
like over half of them.
That's true. That's true.
So I would just like to apologize to everyone before this gets started because my mindset is mostly just
Shaf's
all
on
my
another
thoughts.
planet.
All my thoughts are just elsewhere right now. So I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
And we got some banger segments lined up for you today.
Man, yeah, we've done some thinking ahead. We got topics.
Mm-hmm.
We got vegan corn dog reviews with Shaffer Nickel.
We've been going over the podcast, doing some critical thinking about it, trying to figure out what's going to be best. Hey, there's something to comment. Maybe comment what has worked and what hasn't worked, because we're very much in convergent phase right now. We're trying to like throw things at the wall, see what sticks.
This is very experimental at this point. I don't really know what this podcast is about.
Even today, someone said, we were like, "Oh yeah, we're working on a podcast." He's like, "What's it about?" We're like, "Don't ask
I don't
that.
know yet. We just started it, and we'll figure out what it's about.
Ask something
eventually.
else about it."
Yeah. I can't tell you how many people I've told the name, and they go, "Oh, cool. Is it about breakfast foods?" Like, I'm a foodie also. I would love to listen to your food podcast.
No, it's about YouTube mostly. Sometimes.
Sometimes it's about existential crises. Sometimes it's about art, and sometimes it's about Japanese cars.
But it's always about us
Yeah, because we're narcissists
and frauds.
Frauds. We're narcissists that hate ourselves.
Man, that sums it up more than anything.
Well, speaking of that, it sounds like you've got. So I've been around Shaffer a little bit today, and he's got a surprise topic for the podcast that he hasn't told me about yet.
Well, I want to try something new. Okay.
Okay.
One of my favorite things with podcasts is when not only do I get to hang out with my podcast friends that I can't talk to, and it's completely one way, but I also feel like maybe I get a little bit of insight into current events. And with this podcast, it's relatively current events.
Yeah, it will be 5 weeks ago's current events.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point we'll catch back up. So
yeah,
expect this to be essentially, I don't know what to call this segment, but let's just call it for now art drama corner. It's the part of the podcast where you get a little window into what's going on in the world of creativity. It could be, who knows where this will take us. So this was posted today, February 7th, 2023, year of our Lord. And the title of it's from the Smithsonian Magazine, and the title of this article is
you and the Smithsonian, dude.
I love the Smithsonian.
Everywhere we go, you're like, is there a Smithsonian in the area?
I love the Smithsonian. Think of all the things they got in there.
They do got a lot of
rockets,
old things.
Kermit the Frog.
Do they?
Yeah.
There's a Muppet Smithsonian?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Anyway, they got rockets and Kermit, so I love the Smithsonian. But this is from Smithsonian Magazine, greatest magazine on earth.
Of course.
And the title is One Small Step for Space Art.
Whoa.
How about this?
That actually sounds sick.
What do you think this is about? Give it a guess.
One small step for space art. I would guess it's either about projecting artwork onto the moon with laser beams, or it's about blasting artwork onto other planets with little parachutes, so it parachutes down onto other planets, and we hope that aliens find our art.
That was a pretty good guess. That was actually a really good guess.
Which one, the laser beams
because
or the
I think
parachutes?
it has. I actually am not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure there's lasers involved and art on other planets involved.
Sick.
So now the next question, I guess, do you think I am down with this story, or do you think I am not down with this story?
That's the hardest question you've ever asked, because you hate everything, and then when there's something I think you'll hate the most, you love it.
I don't hate everything.
Well, you hate even the things you love most.
Yeah, that's kind of true. I'm critical. I'm constructively critical.
That is true. That's true. Yeah, you've helped me to not be so positive all the time.
good. That's what I want to be known for.
Uh,
That's who I want to be.
You've really dragged me down. It's been good.
Okay.
No,
Save it, dude. Turn it around.
I feel like you're gonna be into this.
Okay.
I feel like you're gonna love it.
Well, let's find out.
Okay.
Just a really quick sidebar. We saw a mutual friend today, but when we hadn't met up with you yet, I asked him, I was like, dude, guess what I did today? And he just pauses for a second and he goes, that's the hardest question ever.
Yeah, that could be anything.
And I thought that was really funny. Anyway, okay, so I guess I'll just sort of start reading this. So next month, a new piece of art may be landing on the moon, joining an exclusive collection on the lunar surface, created by Dubai-based artist Sacha Jafri. The artwork is titled "We Rise Together with the Light of the Moon."
Ooh.
Okay. The launch is expected to take place next month at the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida. The piece depicts male and female figures surrounded by 88 hearts carved into a gold alloy. So I was thinking maybe it was laser carved, which is why I said maybe those lasers.
Okay.
All carved into a gold alloy. Commissioned by the space robotics company Spacebit, the artwork will go to the moon with the help of NASA's commercial lunar payload services. It will be hitching a ride on the United Launch Alliance rocket, which is powered by engines developed by Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin.
What is a commercial lunar payload service?
You know, I don't know.
There's companies shipping stuff to the moon?
Well, I know they're trying to like fully build a whole like base there in the next couple of years.
Oh yeah,
so
I guess there is already the ISS.
Yeah, maybe it has something to do with that.
Wait.
Well, they were like, because we're going back to the moon, I think next year or the year after.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sending
whoa,
another,
I had no idea.
sending another homie up there.
Whoa. Wait, so I got distracted by commercial lunar payload services. What's Bezos doing?
I think it just is. I think the commercial lunar payload services just uses rockets developed by Jeff Bezos. But
okay.
basically, they're putting this little plaque or this little, I guess, art piece on this ship, and then they're sending it to the moon, and then it's going to take between 5 and 14 days. Seems like a large window, but the artist tells CNN, once it arrives, it will be placed under a crater called Lactis Mortis, or Lake of Death.
Ooh.
Where it will remain for eternity.
Whoa.
All right. Ready for the twist?
I think so.
Let me just say, when I read this, I was totally with them up until this next twist.
Okay. I'm a little hung up on the 5 to 14 days thing.
That's what I thought,
because if
too.
it's a space mission, you better know exactly how long it's going to take and how much fuel you need.
We got to tread carefully here, because this may reveal how little we know about space travel.
I actually know a lot about space travel.
Oh yeah, name one.
Name one space traveler. Dude, my minor in college was astrodynamics.
Really?
Yeah, I took a space travel class. My final project was literally calculating all of the burns you need to get from Earth to Mars.
All of the burns you need?
Yeah, because you need fuel. You basically need fuel burns. So to get to Mars, you're essentially like slingshotting off of Earth's gravity.
Uh-huh.
And anytime you slingshot off of one planet's gravitational field, you need a fuel burn to like exit that orbit.
Oh, got it. Okay,
so you need to. That's
so you're
why,
not burning. So you're not burning fuel all the way through the
right,
stroke, basically.
Because in space, once you have momentum, it just carries infinitely in a straight line.
Right.
So you're only using fuel when you change direction or you're leaving a planet's gravitational field.
All right, you called my bluff.
So I know a lot about space travel, and it makes no sense that it could take anywhere from 5 to 14 days.
Here's what I was thinking when I read that. Maybe it gets there in 5 days, which also seems insane, though. Doesn't it take months to get to the moon?
It takes, I think, 9 months to get to Mars. I think moon's a lot shorter.
Okay. I still thought it was like 30 days, but
yeah, I thought it was too, more like that.
So
long.
maybe it's already on the ship. I don't know. I'm sure there's some sort of detail here I'm missing, but the thought I had is maybe it lands and then it's getting unloaded with a bunch of stuff. And then maybe it, dude, I don't know.
Maybe the astronaut's really lazy and he might not be ready to leave the ship that day.
Well, exactly. Well, there's no astronaut going. They're not saying,
okay.
you know, it's like it's all robots.
All
Jake.
robots.
Yeah.
Of course.
Anyway, I'll just keep going because I feel like there's probably some parts of this story we don't have the details.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm just going to read the next sentence and tell me where you think this is going. I think you'll be able to get it.
Okay.
But even though the piece will stay on the moon, collectors on Earth can still get in on the action.
No. It's an NFT project.
When we land the physical work of art on the moon, a little beep sounds in the control room.
God damn it.
That's when 88 non-fungible tokens will be released,
damn it.
all facilitated by the blockchain company. And then it's got some blockchain company that doesn't even deserve to be mentioned.
Oh my God, dude. Have we not learned our lesson at this point?
It is a travesty. But it honestly gets even worse. So, okay, so first off, this is the best. Not everyone is impressed by the plan or the art itself. And then in a quote, it says, in the ongoing race to ensure that humanity's extraplanetary footprint includes the world's worst artworks, an underwhelming looking piece by British artist Sasha Jaffrey is preparing to head to the moon, writes hyperallergics Sarah Rose. I don't know who this lady is, but what an epic quote. In the ongoing race to ensure that humanity's extraplanetary footprint includes the world's worst artwork, an underwhelming looking piece by British artist, and then she name drops, is preparing to head to the moon. So that doesn't even have anything to do with the NFTs. She's just roasting the art itself at that point. And then this is the best. Same lady. Even artificial intelligence lacks the power to come up with ideas this bad.
Oh wow. Does it look like the classic terrible NFT cartoons that all of them are doing?
Yeah, well, definitely check the show notes. At the time of recording, the only comment we got is someone said, show notes, please. Yeah. Because that's sort of been a bluff this whole time.
Sorry for whoever that is. I still don't know how to add stuff to the show notes.
Yeah. Anyway, it's horrible. I'll just show you. You can.
It looks like a paint by numbers.
The actual one that goes to the moon is engraved in gold like that.
Oh, it looks like you buy it from Hobby Lobby and it's a paint by numbers. It looks like one of those stained glass paint by number kits from Hobby Lobby.
There's literally on the top, it says, through love we rise together. From the darkness comes light. And that says hope. And then in big letters at the bottom, it has the name of the crypto company that's hosting the NFTs.
Gosh.
So really cool stuff. But this is the best part, okay?
Oh, so, it gets better.
Jaffrey, however, isn't the only artist shooting for the moon. As Wall Street Journal's Kelly Crow reported last year, Jaffrey and the artist Jeff Koons are locked in an artistic race to display their creations on the lunar surface. Koons has previously said that he intends to beat Jaffrey with his project titled Moon Phases. But so far, there's no evidence that any of Koons' sculptures have actually been launched into orbit. So this guy's like, oh no, I'm going to beat her. I already did it. But there's no evidence that that's even true. So both artists have claimed their respective pieces will be the first quote unquote official or authorized artworks on the moon. They may be using those qualifiers for a reason. And then this is the best detail of the whole thing, okay? In 1971, the crew from Apollo 15 mission placed two items on the moon's surface. A small aluminum figure by Belgian artist Paul van Hooijdonk, and a plaque bearing the names of 14 Americans and Soviets who died during their time as astronauts. So there's already art on the moon.
And but, that actually sounds sick.
So these two chodes are battling for the first authorized artworks on the moon. And then they're making it an NFT. Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, right? I know. It's the worst. Sorry, one more detail that just really quickly is actually so sick. There's a rumor that, because this is coming off that like being the first official whatever artwork, there's this rumor that there's this small postage stamp size ceramic tile that was attached to the leg of Apollo 12's lunar module. Whoa. That has tiny little drawings by all these artists, and one of them is Andy Warhol.
What?
Yeah, so that's also, no one knows if that's true or not.
Yeah.
But that's also potentially the first official artwork on the moon.
That does kind of sound like a crazy conspiracy
Sure,
theory.
yeah, I don't know if that's true or not,
But that would be sick.
yeah. I don't even know what to say about it other than just like
It's just
shaking my head in shame.
It sounds unbelievably excessively wasteful for art that's meaningless and does nothing but stroke the artist's ego.
Yeah, I mean, and then has the NFT thing connected to it.
And it's clearly like to make massive profit. There's no other reason to have that stupid NFT attached to it. Because there's no utility with it, right? Like it's not like if you buy the NFT, you get to go to the moon to see the art.
If there is, I don't know about it.
Yeah.
It just says that as soon as it lands, a stupid alarm goes off and they release 88 NFTs, which I'm so sick of NFTs, dude.
Seriously. Yeah. Well, did you see? I mean, CoffeeZilla just did the whole exposing Logan Paul.
Yeah.
And then now he also exposed Dylan Dennis in the most beautifully poetic
360
way
slam
ever.
dunk way.
Like incorporates his name, CoffeeZilla, into the website. And yeah, I don't even know how to explain it.
It is hard to explain because there's a lot of like moving parts, but
yeah,
essentially CoffeeZilla's new video, he just lays out his whole scam in black and white to one of these pump and dump crypto guys. Like literally in the contract has it written, "You are the butt of this joke."
Yeah.
The guy signs it, and then it's just you have to watch the video because I feel like the twist at the end or like the way they sort of like structured the whole thing was an absolute masterpiece.
It was truly a masterpiece. And CoffeeZilla is like the Robin Hood of the NFT space. Like he's finally doing everyone justice. Well, he's barely scratching the surface of the justice that needs to be done for all of the scams and thievery that happened in the NFT space. But yeah, man, that has been the most satisfying thing of the years. Watching CoffeeZilla just take down all this garbage NFT nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, I know this affects a lot of people, so I say this like with also the, I understand a lot of people got sucked into a lot of hype and everything, but for me personally, as an outsider, from my perspective, just watching crypto meltdown in general has been so satisfying because I think a lot of people felt this way of just like, am I crazy?
Am I stupid?
Am I crazy for thinking this is useless?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
am I stupid for not seeing why this is the next best thing in the world? And
and I'm sure that, I mean, you said before, I'm sure the technology itself in the future will lend itself to be useful. And I actually think digital authentication is a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Especially if we're talking about it from an artistic point of view, being able to sell digital art and have it appreciate and value the same way, traditional art. It's a great, I love the idea. The execution is just disgusting.
Yeah. And I'm with you. It sucks so much for the people that got sucked into it and didn't have a ton of money to burn, but thought it was a good investment. Like that's why I call CoffeeZilla the Robin Hood, is because those are the people that like I feel the worst for.
Yeah.
And then it's so satisfying to watch just like the already millionaires who are just trying to like get even more money out of people trying to get in on it, when the people trying to get in on it were the ones that had no hope. It was the people creating the projects that knew it was just a rug pull all along.
Exactly.
It's just so tragic.
Well, the thing that is also is a huge tragedy is if it wasn't for people taking advantage of it, it could have worked. Like,
yeah, that's a great point.
And so
it could have been
a beautiful digital authentication that
Yeah.
could have raised the value of people. And, for a while you saw that happening. And, like I said, I haven't given up on the idea, and I'm sure the technology will become something useful. But as of right now, for all the people who did pump and dumps and for all the people who took advantage of NFTs as a way to screw a bunch of other people over so they could get their bag, like, I'm so happy it's melting down.
Yeah, seriously. You are the ones that made it melt down and ruined what could have been beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, quite literally robbed artists as a whole. You robbed artists of a huge opportunity to make money off of what they do. And so,
Dude, and this moon NFT thing, it just feels like the billionaire space race all over again, where it's just like, why Why are we doing this? Why are billionaires racing to go to outer space right now when we got plenty of problems we need to figure out here on Earth instead?
Dude, I don't really understand it. And it is funny too, because up until it was an NFT project, I was like, cool, art on the moon.
Yeah.
Have we not learned anything? That's all I'm saying. At this point in time, especially in a post NFT, post crypto meltdown world, it's like, who okayed this?
Yeah.
But
and you're right, because at first it did sound exciting. What would you want the moon art project to look like? Like, what would make it
That's
cool?
a good question. Yeah, that's a really good question. Big statue of me. And I have a working replica of my van that actually works.
Ooh.
And I can romp. Oh, and then you can log on to like some server and you can drive it around.
You can drive it.
And you
Oh
can take
my
it off
God.
jumps and stuff.
Whoa, that'd be sick. Dude, imagine your van, but like a 8-wheel lunar rover version of it.
And it has like, if it flips over, it can like get unstuck and stuff.
Oh my God.
It's like a Boston
sick.
Dynamics robot.
Whoa.
With my face on it.
See, now that I would buy an NFT for if it gave you the capability to drive. Because you couldn't have everyone driving the lunar rover around.
Right,
so if you were one of the few that got the NFT and you could drive a rover around the moon, that'd be pretty cool.
We should be the CEOs of cryptocurrency. Which, I mean, that's pretty centralized.
Yeah, that might be pretty centralized with a couple dudes that don't care at all about it.
But our heart's in the right place.
Yeah. Why aren't we making this a buggy you can drive off jumps on the moon?
Yeah, what would you put on the moon?
Hey,
dude, what would you put on the moon?
I mean, my first gut is just so basic, and we've done it before, I'm pretty sure, in multiple instances. But
if
just
you
taking
say time
like
capsule.
Just taking like I wasn't gonna say time capsule. I was gonna say just like things that are really important right now. In this moment in time.
That's actually a sick idea.
I would ship a self-contained ecosystem to the moon. So
a little like basically like a succulent.
I don't know, dude. I asked that question. I didn't have anything.
So I have an NFT controlled lunar rover, and you have a succulent.
Succulent.
That's really applicable, but it's a succulent that's specifically applicable to the time we're in right now.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
I would get a needle with uranium at the tip of it or something, however nuclear bombs work, and it inserts into the middle of the moon, and then I have a button with the capability of blowing up the moon so that for the rest of my life I can have the power to blow up the moon in the palm of my hand. That's what I would do.
Dude, that's Jake, that's a crazy answer.
Oh, sorry, dude. The succulent wasn't good enough for you, so I didn't think of something better.
Jake, well, that would.
I wanted to do a time capsule, okay, and you drove me to this point. You drove me to needing to blowing up the moon.
If you blow up the moon, then the tides get all out of whack, and then you kill the turtles again.
Exactly. That's why I
Last
want it,
week
so I could be powerful.
Wait, was that on the podcast? You were talking about you being. Oh wait, that was never mind. I don't
remember killing turtles.
I was accusing someone else of killing turtles this week, and I mistook them for you.
That must have been a different conversation. No, I'm the guy that blows up the moon, not the guy that kills turtles.
Right. I always get you guys mixed up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and then there's like a propaganda post because it's like you with your thumb almost on the button, and then your other hand is throwing a fat peace sign.
Ooh,
and then it says, "I don't touch my button." Don't touch yours. And then you ask yourself, what's my button?
It's art, dude.
Art.
See? It's beautiful.
That's better than some NFT project.
Oh, you know what? It actually would be cool was if the button didn't do anything, but everyone thought it did. And then on my deathbed, I push the button and nothing happens. And it's like the biggest event in world history is me dying with it in my hand and pushing it.
No.
And then there would be all these one of two things would happen.
Either the singularity.
The singularity. World War breaks out.
Yeah. He pressed the button. This is what happens when you press the button.
Or everyone learns a beautiful little lesson about
lying.
about lying or self-control.
But you pressed the button. What do you learn from that?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Thanks, dude.
What did I have to say about that? There's somewhere that you opened this door for me that I was going to go absolutely bolt through, and I can't remember what it was.
Oh.
But yeah, dude, button that. Oh yeah, that's the thing. They're like, oh no, that button definitely blows the moon up. It's got uranium on the tip of the needle.
Exactly.
There's no way it doesn't.
It's kind of beautiful. But speaking of killing all the turtles with the tides of the moon, what did you think about your vegan corn dog?
Wow. What a great segue. My vegan corn dog tasted absolutely concerningly similar to a normal corn dog. Jake is a vegetarian. I am not a vegetarian. And I was making fun of him for eating vegetarian corn dogs, vegan corn dogs. And I think it tasted pretty much exactly the same as a normal corn dog.
Because my response was, there's already so much sketchy stuff in a normal corn dog. Why not just go full laboratory and have it be fake meat anyway? So then you at least know there's not animal guts in it. It's already processed to the moon and back anyway. You may as well just make it purely lab-based.
Yeah, I don't think this has anything really to do. I think this is more of just like an ethics question, because it's one thing to mash up a bunch of insides of a ton of animals and mix them all together into a giant bowl and then have it basically be meat jello.
Yeah.
And put the correct secret sauce of additives in it that make it all stick together into the shape of a wiener.
Yeah.
And then cover that in what is supposed to have something to do with corn. It's a whole nother thing to basically cosplay that.
Yeah.
To essentially dress up for Halloween as a hot dog. That's what a vegan hot dog is doing.
Yeah. But then it's just made out of soybeans and pea protein instead of a bunch of mashed up animals.
Yeah. I mean, I was about to make a comparison that I'm definitely not going to make. I guess maybe I could say this.
Careful, dude.
What's worse? Is it worse to be a Nazi or to dress up as a Nazi for Halloween? I think both are bad.
Be a Nazi. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right about that. You're right about that. I shouldn't have said what's worse. Oh, man, I knew I shouldn't have said that. Whoa. No. What I'm saying is...
What's worse?
What I meant to say is both are bad.
Dressing up as Michael Myers or actually murdering a bunch of people with a knife? Michael Myers is the masked killer from the Halloween franchise?
I know. I was just thinking that I should have said that.
Oh, yeah.
But that kind of is not the same thing, because that doesn't really serve my point so well as mine does. But I wasn't trying to say what's worse. Like, I suppose that's exactly what I said. But both are bad. If you show up to a Halloween party dressed like a Nazi...
Sure. Yeah, I'm with you there.
It's still bad.
Sure.
But I guess...
Yeah, actually, okay, I'm tracking with you now. Because, I'm tracking with you.
Thanks,
because it'd be easy to say, killing the animals in the hot dog is bad, and so therefore the plant-based one is totally fine. But that's not true, because we've shown that plants have stress responses. If you scream at a plant, it has feelings.
Before you go any further, this is not what I was saying.
Oh, really? Well, then let me finish.
Sure.
Yeah, killing animals, in my opinion, is harm that you can avoid. And so therefore I eat plants instead. But eating plants still isn't great. At some point, for me to exist, I have to end other life for me to continue to live.
So why wouldn't you end a bigger life?
because I'm trying to minimize the amount of harm I do. In order for me to exist, I have to cause harm.
I want to end the biggest, most important life I can every time I have breakfast.
I'm not here to minimize harm. I'm here to end as many lives
I'm
as
trying to
possible.
get I'm trying to power up.
Wait, so where were you going with
I was just saying,
cosplaying a Nazi versus being a Nazi?
well, I think both are bad. And I think like if you're going to say like killing animals, which is a way more applicable thing to compare it to. It's like it's bad to kill animals, sure. It's also bad to be like, this tastes exactly like what it tastes like to kill animals, but
No,
dude,
it's
I don't
not,
know what I'm
because,
saying. All I know is I'm right.
Because a corn dog doesn't taste like an animal either. It tastes like butter and salt and ketchup and mustard, and it doesn't taste like anything. It doesn't taste like any sort of animal. It tastes like a corn dog.
Sometimes you got to admit, my man's got a good point. Hey, I've been wrong before, Jake. You're right. I just feel like as soon as I brought Nazis into it, it's like my whole world collapsed.
I love how genuinely you asked that question, then instantly realized how ridiculous that question was. Oh,
Well, just to cap that up, killing animals is bad, but it tastes good.
mm-hmm.
Nazis are bad no matter what.
Yes.
Any flavor.
Yes.
All bad.
Agreed. And none of that was meant to be an actual analogy or comparison.
Right. It was meant to, but I totally didn't stick the landing.
Yeah.
I didn't do a
You're
good
taking
job.
the right direction. And now I get where you're going with it.
All I'm saying is it's kind of messed up.
You're
Like
saying,
it's kind of
like-
messed up to just be like, we need to make something that tastes exactly like that. Because it already doesn't taste good.
Corn dogs are delicious sometimes. Corn dogs are my comfort
Delicious
food.
is such a strong word for a corn dog, but sure. I'm going to say you win, and you're
Yes,
right.
finally. I
'Cause,
won my first argument.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, speaking of us figuring out what our podcast is about, I don't know what this one is about, but I'm glad so far we've covered moon art, corn dogs.
Killing turtles, Nazis.
Yeah, killing turtles, even though that wasn't me. But
Right, someone else.
I wanted to dive into some new topics. Yeah, we'll dive into them. We may as well. We've been going for 40 minutes, but I feel like
Really?
I could, yeah. I feel like I could talk for a long time about the
that
next
felt like
topic.
the intro. Okay. Well, yeah, hit me with the next topic.
Should we dive into the next one?
Yeah. Speaking of killing turtles with the sea
Speaking
tides,
of corn dogs and Nazis,
let's dive into the next topic.
I just saw on Twitter, thanks to Patrick Tommaso, that there is a 17-year-old who has made YouTube horror videos who now has a deal with A24 to direct a horror movie over his summer vacation from high school. A 17-year-old directing a horror movie over his summer vacation, which that brings up a lot of feelings in me.
If there's any sort of possible world in which we could somehow get him on the podcast.
Gosh, seriously. Kane Pixels, I think is his name.
Kane
Shoot.
Pixels, you may have a deal with A24, but we could get you 60
But we can
more
get
fans.
you on Friends with Benedicts, breakfast around the world. So
Yeah.
think about that, Kane.
Yeah, just let that. Hey, just let that settle with you.
Dude, but
Is there any way you could see if he subscribed to you? It's not impossible. I don't even know how that works.
He's not. I know, unfortunately. Unless his subscriptions are private.
Yeah.
But so I just watched his YouTube videos today when I found that out. His
Any
first one has 44 million views, posted 1 year ago, and it's really good. And it's crazy because it's hard to know what's a trend and what's just your own little rabbit hole of the internet. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's hard to know what general trends are versus just where your specific interests are going.
Hey, if anything's taught me that, it's fingerboarding.
Exactly.
My algorithms are filled with the fingerboard videos. I'm like, man, people must be eating this up.
Yeah, exactly.
I know it's not everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I know
Whereas
what you're
if
saying.
you open our Instagram, you would think that's just the main cultural thing right now is fingerboarding.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly. And so for me, liminal spaces has been something that I'm really interested in, and I can't tell if it's. I think it's both. I think I'm interested in it, and I think it's gaining popularity because there's a lot of those Blender artwork and photography and all this that's around this liminal space concept, phenomenon, art style, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Anyway, his YouTube videos are called, I don't remember what they're called. Background. I know a lot about this.
Yeah, you love this guy.
The point is he's made this horror series of liminal space type videos, and it's all made in Blender.
Oh, wow.
And it's so sick because it's basically just these crazy unsettling spaces that he's made in Blender, and then it just looks like a character walking through these rooms holding a VHS camera. And it's so good. He's 17 years old and he's mastered Blender and After Effects. And I guess where I was going with that in general is two things.
Mm-hmm. One, screw him.
Yeah. One, it's so discouraging, or it can be so discouraging to see, wow, there's a 17-year-old directing an A24 movie over his summer vacation. What am I doing with my life?
Yeah, sure.
And then the other side of that coin is, this is amazing. What a time to be alive. There's a 17-year-old kid who learned Blender and After Effects in his parents' basement, and now he's directing an A24 movie because he has access to Blender and After Effects.
Yeah, and actually, you know what is the constant through both of those feelings is God bless A24.
Yeah, exactly.
What a gift.
Dude. And again, like, A24 has just been such a... in my eyes, like a cultural revolution.
Yeah.
Because we went from... So A24 has been around for 10 years now. I think they started in 2012, 2013, something like that.
Okay.
And it was founded by 3 different guys who have already been in Hollywood, like deep into the movie making industry. But they started A24. I wrote down the mission statement because I was like looking into all this earlier. Their mission statement was really basic. It was just to shake up the production industry and create films and TV shows with a distinct point of view, which is like a pretty basic mission statement.
Yeah.
But a few of the caveats in there is that they're committed to not having any franchises or sequels. So we don't get stuck with the Marvel shit show where it's endless recreations and multiverse universes and the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah. And so instead of taking this already existing IP of Marvel or Lion King or Disney, like whatever's already out there, all they're doing is funding artists with good ideas.
Yeah.
And it shows so much in what's coming out now that they actually just put trust in artists.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
Who'd have thought all the good ideas weren't made in the 90s?
I know. Who'd have thought there's actually new, refreshing perspectives to make things rather than just recreating and making sequels.
Well, an interesting thing that goes along with the A24 thing is the entire idea of mid-budget movies, because a lot of A24 movies are mid-budget movies. And I wish I could remember whose video this is, but there's an incredibly good YouTube video. In fact, let's just call it Shaffer's Pick of the Week. There's a really good video about basically the rise and fall of mid-budget cinema and some of the gems that have come out of it. Movies like Shawshank Redemption is considered mid-budget. Movies like the one with the Robin Williams and the kid that's smart. That's called... The Rain Fly.
Oh my gosh.
Sweet James. What's it called? It's got Matt Damon in
Matt
it.
Damon. Oh my god, this is terrible.
It's not Eternal Sunset of a Beautiful
Everyone listening right now
Sun.
is screaming the movie out loud. They're shouting it right now. We can't even think of it.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Smart Man. What is it called?
The one where Robin Williams is shaking him going, "It's not your fault. It's not your fault."
Yeah, and then when he goes, "My wife." That's the beauty.
Oh man, I'm
son.
so sorry for everyone that we're driving insane right now.
We have to remember the name of this movie. I know I can think of it.
I can picture the cover poster.
Robin Williams and Matt Damon star in this summer. Robin Williams in
It's Not Your Fault.
A Beautiful Boy. A beautiful, dark, twisted boy.
You're only making me think of A Beautiful Mind, and it's not a beautiful mind.
One boy with a knack for math.
Oh, this is a great time to remind our audience that we implemented a rule that we're not allowed to Google things
Google
on this
anything.
podcast.
I know we can get this, dude.
Some with happiness, right?
No, that's the Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith.
Fuck, it's not that. No, but happiness is still in it. I'm pretty sure. I think happiness is in it.
A happy, dark, twisted boy.
No, dude. This is so frustrating. I can picture the cover perfectly.
God, it's like an all-time classic.
Yeah, one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. Matt Damon in.
I literally will not be able to exist without knowing this.
What would you call it?
I would call it...
Because, okay, let's break it down. It's a movie about... Because isn't it a movie about a guy who's really smart, but he's kind of an asshole, and
I think
he...
that's Beautiful Mind.
What's the one where
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
What's the one where he
Matt
solves...
Damon's a janitor.
What's the one where he solves the... Yeah. He's the janitor, and he solves the equation. He's a big smart guy, right?
Yeah. You're right. Robin Williams is a therapist.
Right. Cool Runnings.
Oh, I thought I was close too. You know?
It's something like Cool Runnings.
It is. It's something in between Pursuit of Happiness and Cool Runnings. In pursuit of running cool.
That's it. So, In Pursuit of Running Cool. Mid-budget movie.
Yeah.
And essentially what this video gets at is they're like not worth making, because let's say you spend $1 million on a movie, right? And the box office like you make $4 million off of it. For a Marvel movie, making $4 million off of it is like considered it doing bad.
Yeah.
So you have to spend way more, but even if it doesn't do as well as all the other Marvel movies, you're still making way more off of it, just because the audience of people that watches those movies is really vast. So the demand, you would have to only care about the movie for the art, for the sake of making something that stands the test of time, and for the artistic value of you have to care about the movie in order to make a mid-budget movie. Yeah. Low-budget movies get made all the time for that reason, because low-budget people just want to make a movie. It's like if you and I were to make a movie, we wouldn't do it because we're trying to make $1 million. We would do it because we want to make a movie. So those are rare. High-budget movies, not rare. Mid-budget movies, they just don't make them anymore. Yeah. But A24 just saw that as a vacuum in the market and swamped in. They swamped it, and they're just like, no, we'll just make them all then. And a lot of them flop. A lot of you'll go through the A24 trailers. I mean, they drop trailers all the time for movies that I'll probably never see. Yeah. But the fact that they're doing it is just like, it's the best,
dude. And why do you think A24 is the only movie production company that can sell merch? It's because they support such cool ideas. Yeah. That they've built a brand that's cool enough for people to buy hats and pins and merch off of. Yeah. Whereas, like, can you imagine buying Universal Studios merch?
Yeah, I mean, Marvel has merch for sure.
Yeah, but that's for like a movie with characters. This is like the studio. You're just buying merch from a studio.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, and I think it is because it's almost like they're curators more than anything. I mean, the fact that they are willing to work with artists and hear out ideas that are very obviously outside the box or outside the norm. It's just, I mean, they're doing the Lord's work. And so the fact that the 17-year-old kid is getting an opportunity because someone said, I care about movies and art and storytelling in a way that these big studios, the way that Big Movie don't.
Yeah.
Big Movie got me down.
Dude, and it'd be so easy for a big movie studio, like, let's just say in a crazy situation, Universal Studios gave this 17-year-old kid a chance. You know what they wouldn't do is trust him.
Yeah.
They'd be like, we know we're the big movie studio. Like, we'll let you kind of direct this, but we're going to have final say.
Yeah.
Whereas I know A24 is going to trust the kid's vision.
Yeah.
And like support him, give him what he needs to make it.
No, it's so cool. It is so cool. But Big Movie got me down. This how you do me, Big Movie?
Dude, I just learned today, as I was looking into this, that those like Disney and Universal will edit films after doing test screenings. They'll do like a round of test screenings and then edit the movie based off the response in the test screenings.
Ooh, what do you think of that?
I think that's the exact opposite of trust in a creative vision.
Yeah.
I think it's terrible.
Yeah, well, the audience is not the ones that really what am I trying to say here? You can't trust the audience.
Yeah, no.
Especially because I think a lot of the movies that have really stood the test of time, I would imagine on first screening, were instant classics.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know any right off the top of my head that's like 100% true of, but yeah, there's a reason the audience doesn't write the movie. The artist writes the movie. You know?
It feels like a really...
Oh, they don't like that part.
Yeah, it feels like the antithesis of art. You know, what's that phrase about art should comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable?
Oh, I've never heard that, but I like that.
I love it. Yeah, because the goal of art isn't just to make everyone happy that sees it or make everyone comfortable that sees it. Like, it's ultimately up to the original vision, and I guess you hope it's well received for sure.
Yeah.
But it just feels like cheating or feels gross to tweak the end product based on this test release of it.
No, absolutely. And I just want to say to this kid, good job.
Yeah.
Good job telling the stories you want to tell. And
Dude.
Good job, A24, for listening.
It's so sick. He's so talented. I've only watched a couple videos, but now I know I'm going to watch through every single one of those.
That's really cool. That is so exciting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, my favorite movie ever is Beau is Afraid, and it hasn't even come out yet. I haven't even seen it.
Yeah.
I just know. Ari Aster's one of those ones where if you pitched Hereditary, I don't know how many people would have been like, yeah, we'll make Hereditary.
Yeah. God. And then you add Joaquin Phoenix in with that.
Oh, it's going to be crazy.
It's going to be
It's going to be crazy. So, yeah, I mean, interesting times we live in, and it kind of goes a little bit back, I just think, to we are very much in an age of nostalgia being extremely in.
Yeah.
Nostalgia is like in heart, and it always is, I think.
Yeah.
But right now specifically, I feel like 90s are back hard. I feel like early 2000s have been back for a while.
Yeah.
I feel like as AI gets more and more, it just gets more and more prevalent. It's like all of a sudden, it's like I find myself being super interested in shooting video on actual film and film photography, and like I don't know. I think for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, and this AI thing, I think, is really pushing humans closer to humanity.
Yeah,
and
I
being
agree.
like, we just need to really figure out what it is we have a grip on, and and I think mid-budget movies are a very human thing. Like,
yeah, and not having to have the end product be so crisp and perfect like a Marvel movie. And I'm sorry, I know a lot of people love Marvel movies, and like that's great. There's nothing wrong with loving Marvel movies.
Yeah, you can love Marvel movies in Qdoba.
Yeah. Yeah. But like where I'm going with that is just like, I think what you're saying, this pendulum that we're swinging, is maybe we've gone too far in needing ultimate sharpness and 8K pictures and every single thing to be perfect, when we can have things like a little lower budget, a little less perfect, but just value the human element of it more.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with relatability too. I mean, it's so hard. And in a previous podcast episode, I've mentioned it before. It's like, I'm sick of all the movies I watch I'm sick of the conflict being resolved by magic.
Yeah.
I can't relate. I fully, I mean, it's the same thing with like Qdoba, right? Like I used to be on the Qdoba train. I understand why people have their different opinions and perspectives, but for me, it's like, I'm just hitting this point where it's like, I want to feel like I can relate to something to some extent deeper than just like entertainment. Things have gotten so wild. I don't just want to be entertained. I want to be.
Yeah, because we now more than ever have to be so selective of our entertainment. Like you have to curate your own entertainment, otherwise it will be fed to you. You will be entertained by the endless amounts of entertainment.
By
so
big movie.
Like big movie. You have to be the one curating it, and you got to be really careful, because otherwise you'll just get fed it.
Yeah.
If you don't curate it.
Oh, baby, get fed by big movie.
Also, I think you unlocked a little more understanding for me of why the liminal space thing is so appealing.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, because you were talking about nostalgia and why nostalgia is so big. To me, the liminal space thing is like a nostalgic memory exactly the way you remember it, because it's really foggy and you don't remember exact details.
Yeah.
Like it feels like the most clear representation of a memory.
Yeah.
Because the liminal space
I did
form,
say that.
That was your idea.
That was my idea. Good job, me. You've done it again, you beautiful son of a bitch.
It feels like looking at a memory while you're dreaming about it.
Yeah. I need to go deeper down that rabbit hole, because I've been on. I've clicked on a couple of YouTube videos, and I always remember just feeling like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, and that's a corner of style that got me wanting a Fuji camera, or to get into film photography.
Yeah.
There's this corner of Instagram of people who take photos of brutalist architecture or liminal spaces, office buildings, something like that, and usually edit it in Photoshop to feel even more surreal.
Yeah.
But it just gets me so stoked, and it's usually photos of office buildings or blocks of concrete.
Sure.
Old phone booths.
There used to be on Instagram, back when hashtags were like everything, there was a hashtag that was imaginary magnitude, and if you searched imaginary magnitude on Instagram, it came up with stuff so similar to that was all so cool. And actually, I think a huge chunk of my own personal style and flavor and everything came from the imaginary magnitude thing, which I would just consider early days of liminal spaces.
Imaginary magnitude.
Yeah, and last I checked on it, it kind of had changed and gotten lamer, but I don't know.
I was just gonna look up really quick.
Don't look up the name of the movie.
It's okay. I'm not Googling it.
Okay.
I just wanted to shout this dude out because he kind of started the inspiration for me. His name's Joda Ray. His Instagram.
That's the guy you sent me, huh?
No, that was Jake Wagner, who also has inspired me a bunch. Jake Wagner on Instagram, and then this guy's cult.gamut. Cult.gamut. God, his work is so sick. Just, I don't like. That's the exact.
This was so
liminal
much
space type.
This was so much like the old, like the imaginary magnitude thing. It's like so similar to this.
Yeah. So I just wanted to
just gonna
say that because his work is sick.
It's not the same. Don't look at imaginary magnitude. Look at Jake's stuff.
Look up cult.gamut and Jake Wagner.
Yeah.
Just forget about imaginary magnetism.
I blew it. Just like Matt Damon blew it in.
Oh, I really thought I would get it that time. It felt like it was there. This is infuriating. And I know we're infuriating everyone listening, and I just want to say, you're smart, and we're not.
You're so
And
smart.
I'm so sorry that we have been so disrespectful to not remember this work
Dude,
of art.
Everything I thought you were gonna say, I'm so sorry. Our minds are in other places, and my whole reality just flooded back into my brain, and my heart just almost stopped.
Yeah. We had a nice escape, though, huh? You forgot
It
about
was
all your
nice.
problems
It was nice
with
to
your
think
van.
about corn dogs for a second. And
You're now you got to think about taking a bus to Gunnison.
yeah.
And hey, look at the bright side.
Okay. What's that?
You don't have to drive a stupid van with no brakes and almost kill yourself anymore.
Yeah.
You get to ride the Mustang.
Twice. I get to ride there and back.
And
I don't know how that's a positive or a bright side.
you might make a friend on the bus.
Okay.
And at least you're not making NFTs for a living.
That's true. At least I'm not selling NFTs on the moon.
Well, shoot, now that we snapped you back to reality,
Oh no, it's all so,
I guess we should end the podcast
everything
and
is so dark.
watch one of Kane
It's
Pixel's
getting
videos.
darker. I can't find my way out.
Man, I'm kind of bummed this isn't turning into another slumber party of multiple nights on end, because that's what happened last time your van broke down.
If it wasn't for this project that I have going on, it would.
Dang.
That's the thing, like, it all just always happens at all the exact same time.
Yeah,
I can't have one
seriously.
problem hit me at a time. It's just like, come on.
Yeah.
I had another really funny story, so just insert that here. Imagine I just told such a funny story because I was like, oh, I'm going to tell that on the podcast, but
Oh, but you can't remember it?
mm-mm.
Well, I mean, that sucks you can't remember that story, but at least you remember the name of that movie with Matt Damon and Robin Williams.
That's such a good movie. The one that's called You're Not So Bad, Kid. You just haven't, kid. When I look at you, you haven't lived as much life. You don't know what it's like to wake up next to your wife. She was beautiful, but she died. I haven't been the same since.
Is life without Google better or worse? Because a lot of times, I think Google, being able to Google anything at any point, a lot of times ruins moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's really fun to be at a table with a bunch of people and sit and wonder about something.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder how long it takes to get to the moon. That's a fun thing to not really know, not be able to Google, and then be sitting around a table saying, I wonder how long it takes. I thought it was like 30 days. Someone else says, I thought it was a week, and then be able to talk about it.
Yeah, and then
And
as
one
soon
guy
as someone comes in
Googles
and
it,
there's like, it takes
like,
69 hours on average.
and then everyone goes,
Oh.
If they didn't Google it, it could have been 20 minutes of fun conversation.
Yeah.
But in a moment like this, where we've exhausted the ends of our brains and we can't think of this movie name,
Yeah.
now it's like, I really wish I could just
I
Google it
know.
right now.
It sucks that the answer to the question is at my fingertips.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies that they don't have Google in is that one with Robin Williams and Matt Damon.
God, before Google.
That's
PG.
called... Do we really end the podcast not knowing the name of the movie?
I feel like I'm stuck in a liminal space right now.
Yeah.
Leave a comment what the name of that movie is, but wrong answers only.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Wrong answers only, so that we don't feel as dumb as we are. And we love you. Thanks for listening
Thanks
to
for
another
listening.
Friends with Benedicts.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Give Shaffer all of your best positive energy, all of your thoughts and prayers, whatever you believe in. Send him Shaffer's way, because he needs them.
I
right
need it
now.
this week. Yeah.
And thanks for still doing the pod anyway, Shaf. I know it's a crazy time, but I like doing these with you.
Yeah, same. Thanks. I'm grateful for it. It was fun.
Amen.
Amen.
If you don't like this music, you don't be listening to it. You know, I'm just a dude that you know, or something similar. If you you don't keep it real, can you go somewhere but here? Cause you know we're only losing control just for a minute. Oh,